Hello everyone, my name is Micah and I'll be your bartender for today. This week's province cocktail is called the High Roller Martini. Now it's a spin on a classic, or the Cosmopolitan, but it actually dates back further than that because Canadian Club is actually reused in this. So the Canadian Club whiskey has a rich history for Canadians, as it's our #1 export around the world for alcohol. More recognized around the world for a great whiskey, Canadian Club whiskey. Now the story of Canadian Club whiskey is actually in the United States, sold from Southern Ontario, smuggled down during Prohibition through Al Capone and a bunch of the gangsters. So they have a really big problem where they had all this whiskey coming across the border and getting smuggled in the United States into the country clubs, into the clubs, into all the sort of drinking establishments, and people got to know a really, really good whiskey. So it was known as the club whiskey because it was in all the clubs. Then what the United States wanted to do was to say that eventually if there was any sort of whiskey coming in from another country, it had to be known that it was from another country. So that's how the Canadian part got to be part of Canadian Club whiskey. Rich story, there's lots more history. I encourage you to go check it out if you're ever interested in Canadian Club or any of your favorite alcohols for that matter. It's always nice to hear the stories about it. So to make this cocktail, we're going to start off by making it in a martini glass. So I'm going to ice this up so it gets chilled while we're making this martini. And then what I want to do is grab a shaker glass and we're going to get some fresh lime juice. Now, the fresher the ingredients you put in your cocktail, the better result you're going to get, the better it'll taste. So I have a lime wedge or wheel already set up inside my juicer, and I'm going to squeeze this right into our glass. Now depending on how juicy it is, you might need a little bit more, might be a little less. I'm going for about a ½ an ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice. So we'll get one more lime wheel and press this into the glass. Now that we have our fresh squeezed lime juice, I'll measure this out into a glass with ice that we're going to use to shake up our martini. Measure out ½ an ounce of lime juice, almost the whole amount, and then we're also going to put in some 2 ounces of cranberry juice. Then what we want to do is we want to add in some orange liqueur, triple sec or Cointreau. So we'll put ½ ounce in. Let's just add some sweetness and some nice rich flavors with it. And then we're going to also add in our, of course, Canadian Club whiskey. And I'll put an 1.5 ounces in. I'll shake this up. There's a nice froth to it, and then add in our strainer. Discard our ice. Pour that right in. And then for a nice garnish, I've got a twist of lime that we rolled up, and we're just going to let that spring into our glass and hang out slightly, making our delicious Canadian Club High Roller Martini. I hope you enjoy this cocktail and have a great weekend. Until next time, thank you very much. You can always email me at askmybartender@gmail.com or visit my website at www.askmybartender.com. Cheers!